Hi there, friends. Welcome to this flow for hamstrings. For this class, have your yoga strap and a couple of blocks. If you'd like to use a blanket, have that handy as well. As always, your body, your practice. Please skip, modify anything that doesn't feel right for you. Listen to your own body. We will get started down on our backs in a reconstructive pose. Go ahead and grab your strap and bring it with you so that you can reach it from where you are laying down. Once you arrive on your back, just bring your feet out wide, about mat's width, and then let your knees rest in on one another. Relax your shoulders back down on the mat, close down your eyes. You can place your hands on your belly and just start here with some deep breaths. Give yourself a few rounds of breath to arrive here on your mat and in this space. And our theme for this quick little hamstring flow today is just going to be open. I am open. And not necessarily meaning that to the physical aspect of having open or stretched hamstrings. We're going to do some strengthening and some stretching. But maybe just being open to meeting your body where it is today. I know I specifically am feeling super tight today, so this is a good one for me to do. But I'm just going to be open to meet myself where I am. Let's take one more breath in and out. Gently open your eyes. You can hug your right knee in towards your chest, and you can keep this left leg either bent with the foot down on the mat, or you can extend it out long. Just be open to where you are today and meet your body where it is. Don't push too far. Hamstring injuries are like the worst. So once you've gotten a good little hug in of the knee there, grab onto your strap and then hook it around the sole of the right foot. And just start here with some hamstring activation. We'll work to bend and straighten this right leg a few times. Waking up the back of the right leg. Mine is asleep, so this might take a minute for me. And if you want to have that left leg extended out long, that's always an option through this little series. Once you've done, I would say like 8 to 10 of these, go ahead and straighten that leg. Push the heel up towards the ceiling, toes come back towards your face. And then wherever your leg is that's straight, it may need to lower a little bit, stay there. And breathe. Our first little hamstring stretch. Be open to where you are here at the beginning. Breathe into it. Try to relax your neck and shoulders. Have the rest of your body be relaxed. And then grab onto both ends of the strap in your right hand. Place your left hand on top of your hip, whether your leg is bent or straight, and then open that right leg out to the side. Little stretch here through the adductor as well. Couple breaths here. Bring it back up towards center. You can release that strap. Place the right sole of the foot down on the mat and then hug the left knee in. We'll do all of that on the other side. Get a few circles or squeezes, whatever feels good before we start on that left leg. Grab that strap again, hook it around the sole of the left foot, and same thing here, hamstring activation. So just some bends and some straightens, and these don't have to be fast. You can take these super slow, kind of feeling into each part of the bend and each part of the straighten. As always, that right leg can extend long if that feels good for you. We may revisit this position at the end of class and just see if we feel a little bit more open in this area. Let's go ahead and straighten and hold. Remembering to relax through the neck and the shoulders. If you find that you're tensing up, that might mean that the leg needs to lower slightly. Let's hold it here for one more full round of breath. And then take both ends of the strap in the left hand. I always like to place my right hand on top of the right hip, just as a reminder that like the rest of the body is not moving. We're just opening this left leg in the hip socket. You can almost picture kind of that ball and socket joint of the hip as the leg opens out to the side. Everything else stays here. We're not rolling to the side with the leg. One more breath. Back up towards center. You can release the strap, hug both knees in towards your chest, and then place the soles of the feet down parallel, about hips distance apart, and then you can play around with the distance between your heels and your body. I like to do about a hand's distance from my hips. You can place your palms down by your sides, and we'll start here with some bridge roll-ups. So on an inhale, just tuck your pelvis, start to squeeze through the glutes, press down through the heels, lift the hips up. And we're not taking this into any sort of big open through the chest, just a little glute bridge here, lifting up and down. Exhale, roll it right back down. Inhale, tuck the pelvis, press through the heels, squeeze the glutes, feel that squeeze up the back of your legs, lower it back down. Let's do 2 more, inhaling up, exhaling down, feeling the booty start to wake up as well. Exhale down. This time, let's come onto our heels. So you can lift your toes off of the mat, really press the heels down into the mat. Do the same thing, rolling up and down, but really just focusing on pressing through the heels. Notice if you feel that hamstring activation up the back of the legs. Let's do 2 more, and on the last one, we're going to hold it up. So once you get to the top, keep pressing into the heels, keep squeezing the glutes, and we'll take a little walk here in our heel glute bridge here. We'll walk the left heel out, we'll walk the right heel out, walk the left heel back in, right heel back in. We're going to do each side 3 times. So do the right side now, right heel out, left, right back in, left. Switch back to the left side. So we're just alternating sides here. Keep lifting through the hips, squeezing through the glutes, pressing down through the heels. We've got each side 1 more time, and then we'll lower it back down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Release there through the pelvis. Grab onto those knees. If you like to rock and roll, you can take a few rock and rolls up to seated, or you could just roll onto your side and come up into a comfortable seat. Once we're in our seated position, ground down through those sit bones. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms touch, and just take some side bends. So right fingertips down to the right, reach that left arm up and over, press down through that left sit bone into the ground. Inhale back up towards center. Take your little lean here to the left. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Keep the chest opening up. Back up to center. Go to each side 1 more time. Finding some length through the side, between each rib. Next time we inhale, come back up to center. Take an exhale. On your inhale, draw your elbows down to the sides. Open your chest up into a seated cat-cow position here. So right now we're in our cow. Elbows are drawing back, shoulder blades are squeezing towards one another. Exhale. Elbows pull in front of you towards one another. Push the navel towards the spine. Round out through the back, hollow out through the chest. And then inhale and exhale here, opening and closing for a few rounds, waking up the spine. Last one here, open and close. We'll come back up to center, release the hands. We'll just cross the ankles, and then bring the hands over. Step it back into a down dog. Press down through your palms, lift your sit bones up. The knees can stay bent and heels can be lifted here at the beginning if that feels best for you. And then walk out that dog, taking any little wiggles that would feel good. Starting to feel stretch going all the way up the back of the legs. As you lower each heel and keep those sit bones reaching up towards the ceiling. Let's go ahead and inhale, lift that right leg up. Bend the knee, bring the right knee in towards the nose. We'll plant that right foot, come down onto the left knee. This is where blocks can be handy. We'll take our Anjane Asana, our low lunge. So hips come forward. Squeeze through that left glute, feel an opening through the front of the left hip. Keep the chest lifted and everything hugging in through the midsection. On your exhale, shift the hips back, straighten that right leg. Point the toes up towards the ceiling. Take your Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split. Pause here as you fold forward over that right leg and imagine that you're drawing that right heel back in towards the right hip, feeling that stretch go all the way up the back of the right leg. Let's inhale forward for Anjane Asana one more time. Exhale, shift the hips back, take your Ardha Hanumanasana. Same action here. It's almost like we're scooting that heel back. We feel that activation. Let's inhale, come back forward in your Anjaneyasana. Curl those back toes underneath. Lift that back leg up, back knee off of the mat. Inhale, arms come up. We're in a high crescent lunge. So we've got some space here between our legs. The hips are pointing towards forward. That back heel is lifted. Add in some pulses. So we'll inhale it up, exhale it down. We're bending through that back knee, lowering the hips. Arms can kind of do whatever. I like to go up and down. It reminds me what direction I'm going. Let's just do one more. Come back up to center in your high crescent lunge. Let's twist it towards the right. Left arm forward, right hand behind. And then exalt it. Reach that left arm up and over. Right hand slides down that back leg if it feels good. Feeling that stretch up the front of the left side. We'll do a fancy little transition here. Reach this left arm forward, down towards the left hip. Right arm follows. We'll just spin this left heel down and turn to face the left side of your mat. You can move your blocks out of the way if they're there. And we'll lower into Goddess. So we've got our knees bent, seat is lowering, and then we've got our knees tracking towards the middle toes, not collapsing in. And then we're just going to pulse. So up and down. Let's do like 10. Starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, point the toes to face forward. Do a little wide-legged forward fold here. So you can bring your hands towards your hips, take an inhale. On your exhale, spill that pelvis bowl forward. Lift your sit bones up behind you. And then release. You can have blocks under your hands if that feels good. Release the crown of your head. Just let it draw down towards the floor. Feel that opposing action where like the upper body is sinking towards the floor, but then the sit bones are reaching up high behind you. Let's inhale. Hands can come down on blocks or the floor in front of you. Take a little half lift. Get a long spine. And then exhale, fold it forward again. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, long spine, half lift. Exhale, fold it forward. Last one. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it forward and hold. One more breath. Let's inhale, half lift again. Walk your hands towards the back of your mat, towards that left foot. Turn the toes to face forward. And then we'll just lift this left leg back up behind us into a 3-legged dog. We'll go right into the opposite side. Left knee towards nose. Plant that left foot. Grab your blocks if you need them. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Let the pelvis come forward. Keep hugging in here around the midsection. We're not collapsing anywhere, hugging it in. Exhale, shift those hips back. Take your half split. So come onto the left heel. Drag that heel back. It's not like physically dragging. We just feel that sensation, that activation up the back of the leg. It's helping us kind of hinge here at the hip for our fold so that we're not folding forward through the chest. Let's inhale it forward, Anjaneyasana. One more time. Exhale, hips shift back. Fold it forward and breathe. Be open to where you are today. Maybe you need to be up on blocks. Maybe you even need to have a little bend in that left leg. Just listen to your body. Every day we arrive on our mat, and every day we might be a little bit different. Let's inhale it back forward, Anjaneyasana. We'll come for that crescent lunge. So curl the back toes underneath. Lift that back knee off of the mat. Arms are reaching up overhead with the palms facing towards one another. Add in those pulses. So reaching up and down. Let's do like 3 more. 2. Last one. Back up to center. Take that twist. So right hand forward, left hand behind. Lead with the sternum towards the left side. Maybe gaze towards that back thumb. Little tricky balance challenge. Let's reach the right arm up overhead. Left hand gently slides down, not applying pressure. Opening up through the front right side. Start to reach your right arm forward and down. Left arm follows. We'll open up to the side into that goddess pose again. So we'll shift that heel down. We've got our toes pointed out like 45-ish degrees. Pulses again here. Let's do 10, starting now. I always sneak in about 5. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, point the toes forward. Let's take our wide-legged forward fold. So I like to have hands on the hips. That just really reminds me where I'm hinging. If we're hinging anywhere here at the waist and folding, we've got this tuck in our pelvis, and that's not giving us a stretch through the back of the hamstrings. When you hinge at the waist and the sit bones reach behind you, this is where you get the stretch through the back of the hamstrings. We always want to be able to tilt our pelvis to stretch those hamstrings. This round, let's just stay. So anything that would feel good, you could grab onto ankles, you could reach your hands through. Stay here and breathe for 3 full breaths. Each time you inhale, maybe think about the spine getting longer. Each time you exhale, think about it releasing further into your fold. Last breath. On your inhale, let's come forward for half lift, hands down on the mat or blocks. Start to walk your hands towards the front of the mat. You'll turn your toes to face forward. We'll lift that right leg up, 3-legged downward facing dog. Start to bring your right knee in towards your nose, and we'll land it to the outside of that right hand for like a high lizard pose. Go ahead and grab your blocks. Have them underneath your hands. And we'll take some pulses here through our lizard lunge and then lifting up into like sort of a pyramid-ish pose. So we'll pulse forward. I kind of like to do a little bounce through the hips. 1, 2. Exhale, lift those hips up just like we did in our Ardha Hanumanasana. Come up onto that right heel, and the blocks, you can have them on the inside or the outside, whatever feels best for you. This back heel may not lower all the way onto the mat, and that's okay. We're just working to square our hips to the front and fold over that front leg. Let's do that again. We'll inhale forward. Exhale back and fold. Inhale forward. Exhale back and fold. From here, let's come forward slightly. You can lower those front toes down. We'll heel toe that foot more towards not the full center of the mat. We still want some space between our legs, but let's take a full pyramid pose. You can bring that back foot in slightly, turn it out. And then in our pyramid pose, if you want to come upright, we can get situated here first. So we've got space between our legs, they're parallel. Hips are facing the front of the mat. We'll take an inhale. On your exhale, same thing as we did before. Hinge at the hips, fold it forward over that front leg. And you can keep a long spine here, like our half lift that we did in our wide-legged forward fold. And then on your exhale, allow it to release forward over that front leg. Same thing. Let's inhale, long spine, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, one more half lift. Exhale, fold it forward. Keep pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. This is like the ultimate hamstring pose here. Let's inhale, half lift again. Get a little bend in that right leg. You can scoot your blocks forward or off to the side. We'll launch here into a standing split. I mean, why not? Hamstrings, right? So we'll shift the weight into that right leg. Lift this left leg up behind you and then start to fold forward. And then we're really squeezing through this left glute, working to separate the legs. We are totally stretching that right hamstring. Exhale, lower that left foot to meet the right. Can have some space between your feet and just let the chest rest over the thighs. Land here in a little Uttanasana forward fold. And then from here, let's do half lift. You can have blocks under your hands or hands on shins. Exhale, fold it. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it. Let's go ahead and inhale, half lift. On your fold, let's plant the hands, and then we'll just step it right back to downward facing dog, lifting the hips up. Any little wiggles here? You might notice a difference between the two sides of your body, your two legs, and that's totally normal. Let's lift that left leg up, bring it forward to the outside of that left hand. This is our little lizard flow here. Have your hands on those blocks. Pulse the hips forward 2 times. Exhale, hips go up. We're on the left heel folding forward. And that back heel may or may not come down, depending on the space here between your legs. Inhale forward. Exhale, lift. Remember that mantra, I am open. Not just open through the hamstrings. I'm open to meeting myself where I am today. Let's do one more forward. Exhale, back. And then we'll come forward, lower those front toes, maybe step that back foot in slightly. Realign here on your mat for a traditional pyramid pose. So we've got probably a little bit less space between the legs. Hips are definitely facing forward, space between the feet. Take an inhale, exhale, fold it forward over that front leg. Stop there in a half lift. So we've got a long line from the crown of your head out through that back sit bone. Exhale, fold it forward over that left leg. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. I kind of like this more dynamic. Inhale and exhale. Stretching, where we're not just holding this fold on the hamstring. We're getting a little break through that half lift. Let's half lift again. Fun little launch into our standing split. So you can bring the hands to blocks or the mat, shift the weight into your left foot. We're lifting this right leg up, pointing the toe up towards the ceiling, folding forward over that left leg. And in your mind, that toe is reaching all the way up to the ceiling, right? Lower that right leg down to meet the left. We're in our forward fold. Just take a few rounds through half lift on your own breath, where you inhale, get a long spine, and exhale, fold. Your fold can have a bent knee. See how I am, chest over thighs. As long as you're still tilting your pelvis and lifting your sit bones up, the bend in the knee is not hindering your fold or your stretch at all. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, as you fold, plant the hands down. Let's step both feet back into our downward facing dog. Any final down dog wiggles. And then we'll lower onto our knees, cross our ankles, come down onto our seat. We will take a more static forward fold here in our Paschimottanasana. So we'll reach our legs out in front of us. Toes point up towards the ceiling. Your sit bones are grounded. Have a long spine here. If you need a little bit more lift up through the hips, you can slide that blanket underneath your sit bones. And that can kind of help your pelvis do that tilt forward if it's raised up a little bit higher. If you'd like to use your strap for this one, have it handy. You can hook it around the soles of your feet. So first we'll inhale and get a long spine. On your exhale, same thing we've been doing. We're hinging at the hips here to fold forward, reaching your sternum way past your toes, almost to the other side of the room. You can have your hands using that strap hooked around your feet. And then once you feel like you kind of have that first point of resistance, like we have found our edge here, if you want to round through the upper back and release the head a little bit, you can. If you are not using the strap, you can have your hands to the outsides of your feet or in yogi toe lock. And then just breathe here for a few rounds of breath. If it feels better to have a little bend in your knee, that's always an option. Just stay here and breathe. Each time you inhale, long spine. Each time you exhale, think about the chest getting closer towards the thighs. Last breath. To come back up, I like to place my fingertips down on the mat and then just slowly walk them back towards the hips, allowing the spine to stack and realign one vertebrae at a time, with the head coming up last. You can scoot your seat a little bit closer towards the center of your mat. We'll roll down onto our backs. Bring your strap with you. Again, we will use it one more time. Once you're on your back, hug your knees in towards your chest. And then same thing that we did at the beginning of class. So you can have the left foot down on the mat or the left leg extended. We'll hug that right knee in. We'll take our strap, we'll hook it around the right sole of the foot. And we'll go straight into that stretch. So we'll straighten the right leg, take our reclined big toe to hand. Maybe notice that you might have a little bit more openness through the back of the leg. Hopefully a little bit more openness through your mind, through accepting your body where it is today. And just stay here and breathe. After your next breath, you can gently release the strap and start to bend your knee, hug it in towards your chest. And then take your right knee over towards the left side. I like to take a little hike up to get onto my left outer hip, but we'll cross that right knee over, reach the right arm up and overhead, open it out to the side, take a little half wind twist here, maybe gaze towards that right thumb. These always feel so good. Maybe stay here forever. These are my favorite. Let's do 2 more breaths. And then we'll inhale it back up towards center. We'll hug the right knee in one more time. Now place the right sole of the foot down. Hug the left knee in. And then either keep that foot on the mat or extend the leg. Couple rocks with that left leg. And then it'll be the left leg's turn to straighten. So hook the strap around the sole of the foot. Straighten that left leg. We're pulling those toes back towards the face. Relax through the neck, through the shoulders. I am open. Maybe keep this mantra going for the rest of your day. You're open to whatever challenges arise, whatever feelings might come up. Just meet yourself where you are today. Let's go ahead and release the strap, bend the knee, hug the left knee in towards the chest. If you need to take that little hike up to get on the right outer hip, do that with me. And then we'll cross the left knee over towards the right. Reach your left arm up and over, open it out to the side. Work to get that left shoulder blade down towards the mat. Gaze can stay neutral or towards the left. Big deep breaths here. Let's inhale as much as we don't want to. Let's come out of that and bring it back towards center. Hug those knees in, give them one final squeeze, maybe a few stirs, opening them out and circling, going in both directions. And then we'll just slide our feet down towards opposite corners of the mat. Lift up your chest, tuck your shoulder blades underneath, reach your arms out to the sides. Have your palms facing up towards the ceiling. Get some length going up through your neck. Relax your jaw. Close your eyes. Start to relax all the way down in your feet, your ankles, up through your legs, your knees, into your hips. Soften through your belly, all the way up into your chest. As your sternum rises and falls with each breath, repeat that mantra one more time. I am open. Widen through your collarbones and relax your shoulders. Continue the softening all the way down through each arm. Feel this openness and relaxation through each single fingertip. Soften all the way up through the neck, the jaw, the face. Relax all the way up through the crown of your head. If you have time, I will invite you to stay here in this final resting pose for just a few more minutes. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice.